Welcome to my channel. My name's Amber and I'm one of the Cheeky Quilters, and so today I want to talk about preparing for a market or a music festival. The Cheeky Quilters have had a booth at this particular music festival. This is the second year in a row. We've also done one other music festival. We didn't do as well last year on this one. It was our first one. We made some mistakes. It's hard to know how to set up quilts, and I did a lot of internet looking on how do you present quilts at an outdoor music festival, and so I just kind of want to walk you through a little bit of what we're doing to prepare for that. So with that, let's go. Okay. So first things first, I took a look at our inventory from last year. So we're going to talk a little bit about inventory. We're going to talk a little bit about the setup and what it looks like, and some of the changes I've made over the past year and a half, 2 years that we've been actually doing markets or fairs, different festivals and things like that. Here in South Louisiana, there is a different festival pretty much every weekend. You can find somewhere to go to sell your product, your handmade product. There's also like local farmers markets that allow local artists to sell their items, and so I'm currently not doing any of those markets, but am considering it just to explore to see what our options are. So anyway, inventory. People don't want to buy what I learned from the first festivals international that we did last April, was that people don't really want to buy ready-made quilts. They lots of people will walk up and say, do you make a custom quilt? Can you make a t-shirt quilt? Or I have clothing from one gentleman was a rodeo clown, and he's like, I've got all these shirts from all my years of rodeoing, and I want to make a quilt with all the shirts. And I was like, absolutely, let's do it. He takes the card, goes away, and then we never hear from him again. Or maybe he's hanging on to the card, and or maybe he got somebody else to do it. I'm not sure. So there's a lot of that. A lot of people walking up, oh, I always wanted to do this. A lot of my grandmother was a quilter, my sister quilts, my so-and-so quilts, I quilt, all of those things happening, but not a whole lot of sales of quilts. And so last year I tried to diversify what we were offering, and so we had some little pocket prayer quilts, and so they're I used 5-inch squares, sewed them together, put a cross either on the inside of the quilt or on the outside, and so it's intended to be a gift, and we put a little poem attached to it, and they were selling for $5, and we did really well. We sold a lot of those. And so you hold it in your hand, and you feel comfort when you need it from that handheld really small quilt. And so I love the idea. I would like one. I carry one. I've given them as gifts. Generally people really appreciate them, so that sold well. I still have a few to make for this year. Bags sold well, but last year at this time I didn't have a whole lot of bags, and I didn't have a whole lot of experience. And so what I did over the last year is I learned how to make bags. I did some experimenting with different patterns, found a couple of patterns that I like, and so I've been making more bags to sell. Recently my favorite thing is a beach bag. It's like a beach tote, and it has a holder for a bottle, so I'm gonna have some of those for sale. Probably make a video of me making those. The reason I didn't make a video for that yet is because the last two that I've made were kind of experimental, and then the last one was a gift for someone, and I was in such a hurry to get it done for her birthday party, shout out to Grace, that I really didn't have time to video it. But anyway, so I'm calling these beach totes the Grace bag, the Grace tote bag, in honor of Grace. So shout out to Grace on that one. They came out really cute. She loved it. So we're gonna make some more of those, and hopefully they'll sell. So tote bags, purses, pocket prayer quilts, gonna make a bunch of those. The other people wanted us to make them personal items, which I did end up selling actually quite a few. I think I got 5 quilts from being at the festival, like people that did call me back. So that was really cool. That's huge success, I think, getting 5 quilts from that. The other thing that sold at the festival, Festivals Acadienne, which was in the fall. So Festival International is in the spring. Festivals Acadienne is in the fall. We sold, there is an Acadian flag, which is sort of a local flag here in Louisiana, and I've made several of those quilts, about a twin size, large throw, twin size bed size, and those sell as fast as I can get them done. They're sold. They're pretty time consuming, and so I can't make a whole lot of them. But they're selling so fast, I think I'm going to have to go up on my price on them, just because they are so time consuming and they sell so fast. People have said I'm not charging enough, so anyway. But we'll do a whole other discussion about how I price things. But anyway, so I'm going to try to get 1 large Acadian flag quilt done and at least 2 wall hangings. Last year, from the large quilt that I had hanging in the back of the booth, I had a few people want to order them, and so I threw out there, I can make them smaller, I can make them wall hangings. I've made purses and pillow covers and things like that with them, and so I did get 2 orders for wall hangings, which was really good. Those are a little bit easier and faster to make. So those are going to sell. So yeah, I'm just looking. So what I did also is, I don't know if you can see here, I made an Excel spreadsheet, and so I have a column for each item, and they're broken down into bags, miscellaneous items, quilts, the price for each, how many I have started. I started the festival with. I don't use any type of formal inventory system because I just don't have that kind of inventory. We're not that big of a business yet to need that, to spend money on it. I did recently sign up for Square, so I know that has a built-in inventory system. I haven't started using it yet, but I'm definitely going to use it for festival on some level, and so we'll see how that works out. I may have a video on that as well coming up, just to kind of let you guys know from my inexperience, my take on how it went. So yeah, so this inventory list, I have, price, how many I started with, and then as I sell things, I track them, and then that keeps track of my total sales. So for our first Festival International last year, it rained on Sunday, and so basically our 3 days turned into really 1.5, because it's Friday night, all day Saturday, and then it's supposed to be all day Sunday. Well, Sunday we didn't sell anything at all. I think I sold one $20 item maybe, and so I ended up with about $1,500 over that day and a half, which included a few larger quilts. So we didn't sell a whole lot. We also sell crown crowns. So it's a crown made out of a crown bag, and so it is a crown. I think they're really cute. So this one actually doesn't have the elastic on the back, but it would normally have elastic on the back, and I've reinforced them a little bit better than this. But yeah, so that's one item that sells. They're really cute. We didn't sell a whole lot of them, but I think they're cute. So the crown crowns were kind of popular. Like, a few people were buying them. I thought maybe towards the end of the night people would have a little more to drink and have fun with it and be buying them. But by the time that was going on, they weren't in the craft art or the Marché des Arts area. They were off in the, where the music was and different things. And so it kind of was one of those deals. I have a few already made. I'm not going to make a whole bunch more because they just didn't sell. I had some stuffed animals, sold all of those. I probably could do really well with that. But again, they're pretty time intensive, and it just wasn't my focus. It's not where I want my business to be. And so I didn't make any more of those, but maybe in the future if I have time and that. So I also make rubbings. I put fabric on top of manhole covers and use oil to, like pastel oils, to rub the manhole cover into the fabric, and then quilt those. I sold 2 of those. I have 2 left, so hopefully those will sell. In preparation for the festival coming up, I took inventory of what I sold, what I wanted to make, and then so I have my spreadsheet, and then the tabs on the bottom. I have each festival coming up, and then as one passes, I fill in all the information and sort of put my thoughts on how it went, process all of those sales in that spreadsheet. The good, the bad, the ugly. I can't believe nobody bought that. I can't believe somebody bought that. I mean, all of those things, I put that in that spreadsheet. And then start preparing for the next one. So I have a whole new tab for this upcoming festival. And what I did back in October after Festivals of Cayenne was I looked at what sold, what I need to make, what I want to make. And I made a list, like kind of a wish list, where there's a column that says need to make, and I'll just read it off. And so what I want to sell, what I want to have sell, what my merchandise wants to be at that point, because again, all of what I make is time consuming. You know, you can't just whip out a quilt because you have a market in a couple of weeks. You got to plan ahead for that. And so I want to make a total of 100 purses, totes, bags, all of that category of item. So I want to have 100 of those. I don't know how that's going to sell. Again, I'm new, and so I'm just kind of throwing this out there from one new craft artisan, textile artisan to another. Like, I'd like to have 100 of them. If 50 of them sell, great. Then I have 50 to, to continue to go. So I've been making them. Most purses and bags I can make when I get home from work at night. I get home, my husband and I watch, we have certain programs that we watch together, we eat dinner, and then I come to my room and I sew for at least 2 or 3 hours every night. Most nights, not every night. Sometimes I have other things going on. But so with that, I can usually make 1 to 2 bags every 2 days. So it takes a little bit longer than 1 day to make one, but sometimes I'll cut 2 at a time. And so I write that right now, we're 37 days out from festival, and I have about 30 bags made. So I'm not going to make that 100 mark, but I have a plan to how to get it done in the next 30 days. I'm going to get as many as I can. I'll probably end up with about 70 bags total, and they're all different price points. So I do have actually right here, so this is just a sample bag that I made, and so, it's just a very simple bag. Now this one has it's a wristlet, is the pattern is for a wristlet, but I made another one and put a shoulder strap, so to make it a crossbody bag in Mardi Gras colors, and so that turned out really well. So, and these are super easy to make, so I'll probably be making a few of these. I'm actually waiting on zippers to make these, because pretty cool. I like these. It has a zipper, but it also has I put a button on this one, but I will be making snaps on these. So something super easy and quick. I can make a bunch of those. I'm going to Pennsylvania for work next week for my real job, and when I travel for work, I bring my cutting, anything I need to cut. So I'm going to be cutting patterns while I'm in the hotel room in Pennsylvania next week. So I will cut everything I need to make probably 30 purses or bags or totes. So that'll be fun. Some people do touristy things. Pas moi, no. I do have, so I'm going to be in Allentown, Pennsylvania one of the days. That's why I'm flying in and out of Allentown too. I've already done a search for which quilting stores are open the days I'm flying in and out. So if you're from Allentown and you're seeing this, I'll be hitting up some quilting stores in that area. I'm going to make 4 Acadian flag wall hangings, 1 large size Acadian flag quilt. I actually made a, so the 2 major universities in the area where I live are Louisiana State University and Baton Rouge, LSU. So I made an LSU quilt, put it up on Facebook. Hey, look, I made this quilt. Let's come get it. It'll be at festival for sale. And then I sold it because, So it's sold, so I will not have an LSU quilt at Festival because that quilt already sold and I don't really have time to make another one. I'm finishing up the University of Louisiana at Lafayette quilt. I'm looking at it right there as if you could see it. It's behind the camera. So that one will be ready and go, and I think I'm just not even going to post it before Festival so that I can have it up on display. What I did with the Canadian flag quilt at Festivals at Cayenne was the lovely couple that purchased it. I asked them if they bought it on like Saturday morning, and I was like, are you going to be here Sunday? Can I mail it to you? Can you come back? And they said, no, we'll come get it late Sunday afternoon. And so I put a sold tag on it and I kept it up. And because of that flag quilt hanging in the booth, I got a lot of attention and a lot of business. So I'm probably going to do something similar or have something hanging to get people's attention that's not for sale. Or if it is, to ask them if I can mail it to them after. Maybe give them a discount if I need to, if they can, if they let me keep it there. So I'm finishing up the UL quilt. I've already sold the LSU quilt. Jennifer, who's the other half of the Cheeky Quilters, is finishing up a Crown Royal quilt. I think that one's going to sell. We've made one before. It was absolutely beautiful. So hopefully this one will come out just as nice. I have no reason not, to believe it will. So we'll do that. And I think that's it. I wanted to do some banners. In fact, I did last year, made some banners for Happy Birthday, Bride, things like that. And they didn't really sell very well. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if people didn't see them, what the deal was. We have a mannequin and they sit on the mannequin. I had one or two people ask me about them and say, oh, well, I want one in this color. One family, for every birthday, they have a little crown and a birthday plate, and she said, we want a banner to go with the birthday plate. And I was like, of course. And instead of getting people's information, I would give them a card. And so I think we need to start collecting information instead of giving our information. Again, we kind of have enough business now, like, to make quilts. Like, I have 8 quilts outstanding right now. If I said, hey, I'm ready, there's 8 people in line waiting for me to make quilts. So, we don't want to offer too much out there that we can't support. So there's that. But we're really looking forward to the festival. What I want to do, I'm going to be soon setting up the tent and putting in my brand new wall panel in there, just because I think it might be too tall. I was so excited when my dad made for it. Now there'll be a link to that video in here. It was pretty awesome. Like, I sent him a picture and he made it, but I think he thought bigger was better, but I think it might actually be too tall, so I might have to cut it down. So I need to set up the booth. I have some ideas. I read somewhere somebody saying, your booth should feel like your boutique. Like, if you could create a boutique, what would it look like? And so I definitely have an idea about what I want my booth to look like. Here in South Louisiana, our grandmothers are called our momos. And so one of the biggest compliments I've gotten so far, or we've gotten, is a man coming up to our booth and, touching the quilts and saying, oh, it makes me feel like my mama. It reminds me of my mama. So that's like super awesome. Like, that's a huge compliment. That's a huge compliment for us. So I want to make our booth feel like Mama's house. And so I have some ideas about how to make that happen, kind of granny chic, but in a booth. So we'll see how that turns out, but I'm actually kind of excited about it. So I've got my inventory list of things I have to make between now and the next 30 days. So I've got a lot of work to do. I'm probably not going to be sleeping a whole lot between now and then. To recap, so how we prepare for festival. So previewed last year's sales, thought about the configuration of the booth and how we want to change it. I'm going to improve the aesthetics of it. Again, going for that Mama's house, granny chic kind of feel. I want people to feel warm and welcome and know that everything we make is made with sewing machines and our hands. and with love. And so I want that to come across when they walk into our booth. I want people to feel welcome, not like they're at a festival walking into a booth, but really that they're welcome, and that the items that we have for sale are made with love, and we want them all to go to a good home. So that's it. That's what I got.